it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Have you ever wished you had a big brother who can give you some insight into what it is that guys look for and also what it is that will immediately drive guys away? Well, if so, maybe you've got that big brother, but if you don't, you've got one today. See, I've had the privilege of being a guy now for 48 years, been in a great relationship, a nice marriage now for about 16 years. And also had a lot of crappy relationships with women that I never wanted to commit to. And also, quite transparently, been in relationships with women who didn't want to commit to me. So it works equally on all sides. But today, what you're going to learn is the 3 things that will immediately drive guys away. Or if you're in a relationship or starting a relationship with a guy, the 3 things which will let him know, nice girl, just not the right one for me. And that's when he'll usually pick up and run away. So the first one is when you constantly criticize a guy. You're constantly picking out what he's doing wrong. See, the worst thing you can do to a guy is emasculate him, make him feel like he's not a man. And it's one of the biggest things I see happen all the time. I know some of you go, yeah, but I'm just trying to tell him what he's doing wrong. Well, you know what? First of all, if you're with a guy who you're constantly telling that he's doing something wrong, you might want to consider it while you're with that guy. But secondly, if you're constantly focusing on what a guy is doing wrong, what he constantly hears is you suck. And if he hears you suck, he's like, well, why am I going to commit to you if you think I suck? So it's not really a conducive thing to building a healthy, long-lasting, and fulfilling relationship. So you got to stop it. And, if that's just your nature, you're one of those individuals who constantly picks out what other people do wrong, not just the guys you date. Really take a good look at that. Do some work. Fix that stuff. Clear it up before you go into a relationship. Because even if you attract a guy, what kind of man wants to stay with a woman who constantly tells him how much he sucks? Okay, so that's step number 1. Step number 2, and it kind of goes with step number 1, and this is lack of appreciation. See, us guys, we have huge egos. We have this huge desire to feel like we're the knight in shining armor, the prince on the white horse. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's really the truth. We love to know that we're taking care of our women. And that includes in and out of the bedroom. So if you let us know how much you appreciate us, you let us know what a good job we're doing, you throw us a Scooby snack when we do well, that's just going to make us want to do more. It's going to make us want to do it even better because that's what lights us up. That's what makes us feel like a man, knowing that we're taking care of our woman and that we're doing a great job in and out of the bedroom. So you want to get to a man's heart really quickly. Just constantly build his ego, not from a place of bullshit, not where you're doing that from a place of manipulation, but because it's generally your truth. You see things that he's generally doing nice. He goes out to dinner, takes you out to dinner. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And here's a big one, especially in the beginning if you start dating. You're out with the guy, he pays the first, couple of times. Say, hey, you know what? Tonight's on me. I'm telling you, we love that. We love to be appreciated. We don't like being taken for granted. So if you show us that you don't take us for granted, you appreciate it, you get big bonus points on that. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is the big one. In fact, I was reading some research recently and it said the number 1 things that a guy looks for before he commits his life to a woman and for him to stay in a relationship is this one thing. You ready? Better get your pen and paper and write it down because it's this thing called trust. Yes, you've heard that, trust. And it's an issue that you probably have some juice around because look at it from a man's perspective. If we're going to be in a relationship and we're going to allow to be who we really are, then you've got to trust us. I can tell you one of the things I love most about my wife is from the get-go, she always trusted me. Now, I will go out and say that I believe I've earned that trust. So I don't believe that you trust any man out there. I believe that trust is a privilege, not a right, that any man needs to earn your trust. But once he earns that trust by his consistent words and actions, then you need to give him a rope. And I've come up with a new phrase and I love it. And if you steal it, I'm going to hunt you down. And it's called give a man a rope and he'll pull you forward or he'll hang himself. So it kind of works out with trust is that if you trust the guy, he's either going to continue to earn that trust or he's going to do something to screw it up to show you that he's not the right guy for you. So you've got to learn to trust the guy. And again, just like with step 1, if you don't trust any guy because you've got some past stuff. You know, your dad wasn't there. You trusted a guy one time and he broke your heart and you're afraid to trust again. You're a member of the bitch and moan club with all your girlfriends and talk about how guys suck and how they all can't be trusted. Well, if so, you've got to work on that, because here it is, ladies. The number one thing that a guy looks for is he wants to know that you implicitly trust him. Now, you can say you trust him, but do your words and actions consistently show that? Because they either will or they won't. And trust me, we know when you don't trust us. And so very often not trusting a guy is usually your own stuff. Because again, if you're with a guy who's consistently showing you that he doesn't deserve your trust or he can't be trusted, well, then he's not the right guy for you. Now, again, no, I threw a lot at you today, but you might want to go back and revisit these, because these three things are huge if you're going to build a healthy, fulfilling, and long-lasting relationship. The kind you desire and the kind you know you deserve. So, love to hear from you. Which one of these three, if you had to be honest, do you consistently do? Okay? And if so, what are you going to do? What changes are you going to make going forward so you can have that relationship you really want? Go ahead and put that in the box below. And if you have any other questions, comments, or feedback, put those in the box as well. As always, an honor, privilege to be with you. We'll see you next time. Much love.